Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you are new to the channel, my name's Tim, this is Vehicle Evolution, and today we are going to go over the top performance mods that you should be doing to your car. This isn't necessarily a Genesis specific list. This is something that could apply to Mustangs, Camaros, Hellcats, you name it. These are things that most people tend to want to do to their cars first, and we're just going to jump right into it. So first thing, an exhaust. Most folks are going to go after the exhaust first because the factory exhaust, let's just face it, they generally don't sound that great. They might sound okay, but they're not as aggressive as a lot of us would like our exhaust to be. So the first thing that most folks do is they upgrade their exhaust. Now, upgrading your exhaust has a lot of other benefits other than just making the car sound cool. It really does actually add to the engine performance and helps to make it a lot less restrictive, and in turn you tend to increase your power. You know, some exhaust systems, depending on the piping size and how it's made up, can increase your horsepower by 20 to 30 horsepower pretty easily just by upgrading the exhaust. So that is definitely a top mod that you're going to want to do to your car. Now, next up we have an intake. The factory air boxes in most cars is very restrictive, and one of the first things that you will want to do, and what I did, was I upgraded to a short ram air intake. And what that does is it just allows the engine to breathe a lot better. It brings in colder air, and colder air to an engine is better air. It's more power. So a cold air intake can easily increase your power pretty quickly. And it also, with this car, with it being turbocharged, it made a dramatic impact on the sound of the engine and the sound of the turbo from it, because it's just less restrictive. But the biggest thing is it allows that engine to breathe, and it's going to increase your power, and it'll help make your car sound a little better as well. All right, so next up we have one that is a cosmetic upgrade, but also has a very, very important performance component to it, and that's lowering your car. Out of the factory, most cars are designed to ride comfortably, have a decent ride height, clear speed bumps, things like that, which is all good. But when it comes to performance, you don't necessarily want a soft suspension. And whether you upgrade to lowering springs or you do coilovers, you have the ability to soften or stiffen your suspension, plus you're also lowering your center of gravity. This car is lowered on arc springs right now. It will have coilovers in the spring, and one of the things I noticed immediately was it is a stiffer suspension and it corners a hell of a lot better. Other than the look of it being a little lower, the performance gain you get is it just corners a lot better. So I would highly recommend lower your car. Now, next up we have a downpipe. Now, you wouldn't think that the downpipe would have such a huge performance impact, but it really does, especially depending on the pipe size that your factory downpipe has. On the Genesis, the factory pipe is 2.5 inches. I upgraded mine to an SRS downpipe, which is a 3-inch pipe, and it really did help the exhaust system, I guess, breathe a little bit better. All right, so this next one is really going to depend on your state's emissions guidelines and how strict they are. I'm in Maryland. Our emissions guidelines are ridiculously strict. So one of the things that I actually did with this car a while back was I replaced the primary catalytic converter with an O2 housing, which had a huge performance gain. I mean, it made the car sound better, it was faster off the line, it just was overall a great performance upgrade. The downside is I couldn't pass an emissions test to save my life. So I ended up having to pull it out and put the primary catalytic converter back in, which, it softens the sound. It does make the car stink when you have the O2 housing, because you're not filtering out all of that bad stuff from the catalytic converter. So your exhaust really does have kind of a potent smell. The performance gains were huge. Not having that restriction from the catalytic converter made a ton of difference. So if you have the ability and you're a turbocharged car, get rid of that primary catalytic converter and just go to an O2 housing. You're gonna need to do the next mod, which is a very important one if you do that. All right, so your last and probably most important mod that you could do, and you may even wanna, well, I wouldn't say do it first, I would say get your bolt-ons done first and then do this. To be honest with you, if you don't tune your car, you're crazy, because canned tunes aren't that expensive. Even having a custom tune done, with the amount of money that you may put into the car for all this other stuff, having your car tuned will unlock all kinds of potential with your engine. This car easily gained 50 horsepower when I had it tuned, and it made a world of difference. It was like having a brand new car. Totally different car. So the last mod that I would say is almost a must-have. You gotta tune it. All right, so I'm gonna throw one more at you, which is kind of the bonus mod, and you may not think this has really any kind of performance value, and I actually haven't done it to my car yet. Will probably be coming in the spring, and that's wheels. You would think that wheels are going to be more of a cosmetic thing because they're either bigger, shinier, darker, whatever you might have, whatever your taste is in wheels. But really, if you're going with a wider wheel, wider tires, you're increasing the grip to the road, and you're going to have some performance gains there as well. Along with lowering the car, having that extra wide grip, it's really going to help your handling. So wheels could easily be added into the list of performance mods. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're going to be doing another video on the top appearance mods to a car that you should do, which should be pretty cool. That'll be coming next, and that's all from me for now, guys. Until next time, take it easy.